Peace and blessings, everybody. It's 5:13 p.m. Central Standard Time, March the 7th, the year 2019. The last few hours has been quite eventful for me, and I'm just making a quick documentation audio of all the events. Several firsts have happened to me today. I made it to this age. I'm 52 years old, and I've never personally been driving a vehicle during an automobile accident. Never been in an accident my whole life. I'm be 53 coming up in October. So that changed today, and I really can't recall ever calling 911 before. And although this wasn't a life-threatening emergency, it appears that 911 was the proper action to take. So two things today that happened to me for the first time ever. I know I said I don't call 911, and I will not under normal circumstances, but I guess there's an exception to every rule. So I got hit and run today by a dark, what appeared to be black, I don't recall because it happened so quickly, SUV, and I have to go buy groceries for my mother. She's getting up in years, so my wife and I do our best to help take care of her. And I was coming back after I had purchased groceries for my mother. So in the back seat is ice cream, butter, ham, eggs, things that are perishable, right? I come to a four-way intersection. There's all stop signs all four directions. And I wait my turn. It's my turn to proceed after everybody stops. So I proceed across the intersection. When I'm about 75% of the way through, I notice out of the corner of my eye that something is approaching very quickly, and it doesn't appear they're going to stop. And I don't really have time to identify the type of vehicle, but I just think, punch it, Rudy, punch it, because they're fixing to T-bone you. And so I punch it and do my best to get out of their way, but I wasn't quite fast enough, and they tagged my rear of my truck. Now, it's not massive damage. It is a dent, and tail light got slightly busted, and but I think if they had hit me in a different portion of the truck, if I hadn't sped up to try to get out of the way, things could have been different. Well, anyway, it was quite shocking, right? Get in an accident like that. I've never been in an accident before, but it's not the end of the world, I didn't think. So I stopped the vehicle and I proceed like, well, we're going to have to exchange insurance forms and have a conversation, right? I get out of the vehicle, and as I'm getting out, I realize this guy didn't stop. He just keeps going. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? He just tags me on a four-way, this dark SUV tags me on a four-stop intersection, and he's not going to stop at all. Well, that was very irritating, and thank God Almighty, there was a couple. It was an elderly black man, and he had an elderly white woman that had seen the event, and they decided they're going to give me their phone number, and they also gave me the license plate and a description of the vehicle. Now, I don't know if they're married. They could have been. They were together, but in any event, he was well-dressed in a suit, and she was well-dressed, so I don't know if they were going to church or they just looked well-dressed, anyway. So I got a description of the vehicle from them, and they said they got the license plate. And so I thank them for giving me that, and I didn't know what to do, right? I've never been in an accident. I didn't know if what is my action? But then I looked at the intersection, and lo and behold, the license plate is laying right in the middle of the intersection. And guess what? It matches exactly what was reported by the couple that had, told me that they would, be eyewitnesses. And I said, now that I've got the license plate, now that I got a couple that's, reported to have seen the whole thing, I said, man, this guy's not going to get away with this. I don't know if it was a guy or a girl. I just know it was a dark, kind of SUV-looking vehicle, possibly a Ford. I don't know why I say that, but Ford Explorers is kind of what it looked like. But in any event, I got pictures of the license plate. It took 2 hours for the cops to show up. And, I called 911. I immediately said, I don't know if it's the right thing to do because this is not a life-threatening emergency, but I've just been hit and run. And they said, yeah, that is the right thing to do. And I said, okay, well, I want to report it. I don't want this person to get away. I mean, they turned what could have been not an incredibly serious situation, right? And now that they've pissed me off and drove off and tried to, hit and run me, it's like, well, now this is a whole different situation. I'm going to like pursue this. Especially I got the license plate and 2 eyewitnesses. So anyway, they said they were going to send a cop out there. I waited and waited and waited. And I called him back after about an hour. I said, it's been an hour. Oh, we got somebody on the way. So an hour and a half, a cop drove by with his lights on, and I'm waving at him thinking he's coming to talk to me. He wasn't coming to talk to me. And after 2 hours, a cop shows up, and he takes the report. He was very nice, don't have anything bad to say about him. He gives me a bunch of numbers, and I don't know what's going to happen from here. Now, I will say this, I'm not inclined to call my insurance company simply because I don't want my insurance company rates to go up. And I know from experience when family members got in accidents that it becomes a he said, she said, and it doesn't matter whose fault it is, the insurance company are going to try to raise your rates. And so even as clear as this is that it's a hit and run and I got eyewitnesses and I got the guy's license plate, I just not inclined. I'm going to research it some more, so I reserve the right to change my mind. But I'm not inclined to call my insurance and report this because I only have liability. They're not going to cover my damages anyway. And so I don't want them to have an excuse to raise my insurance rates. But if you guys have any opinion about that, you share with me. But also, if you're going to be stupid enough, and there's all kinds of reasons why people hit and run, right? You could be drunk. You could be high. You could be an outlaw, you could be the FBI and you wanted to send me a message. And you know that you're not going to be held accountable. Like I said, I haven't thrown the conspiracy net on this incident yet, right? But I'm not ruling it out either. Am I saying that a dark SUV driven by the FBI just tried to kill me? No, I'm not saying that. I'm really not. It very well could just be one of those things that you happen in life. But I'm not ruling it out. I mean, it certainly is odd. If, like I said, if you're going to be stupid enough to do a hit and run, make sure you don't leave your license plate at the scene of the crime. All right. Well, I'll let you guys know if anything turns out about this. I'm told there's going to be like court cases and, it's going to go forward. And I'm given some numbers to keep track with. And I'll have to do that. And we'll just see how this thing turns out. Take care. God bless. And live and learn. Bye-bye.